Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Well, it's graduation season, and I've got a bunch of graduation cards I need to make, but I thought if this would be a card that you could make for anyone, it's going to be a shaker card. And what I did is I took an 8.5 long piece of paper and I scored it in two places, 1/8 of an inch apart, one at 4 1/4 and then the one next to it, which would be 4 and 5/8. So I scored those two, and then I folded it so that I have enough room to be able to put my shaker in there. Are you with me so far? Then what I did was I have these dies from Nellie's multi-frames. I have to say, I don't know where I got these, but I'm not really impressed with them. It could be because I just got my magnetic plate for my Vagabond, but they didn't really cut very well, and I went through it back and forth, and I had to turn them around. Regardless, what I did was I cut 3 dies. I'll move this out of the way. I cut the biggest one, the next one that's got the dots on it, and then the next one that cut. And I ended up with this extra piece, which I'm going to put gold embossing on. The college their colors are blue and gold, navy blue and gold. And so what I thought I would do is I would use this piece as part of my decoration and do it blue and my background, do this gold, my background blue. But what I'm going to do first, before I do that, let me get these out of the way. I thought what I would do is do gold embossing all the way around with the little stars that I have from this set that I never thought I'd use because I never had any graduations, and this year I have, I think, 5. It's called Dream Big from Tailored Expressions. It's got a lot of really great graduation wishes on it. So in the inside of my star, I have Congratulations Grad that I stamped with Archival ink that was from Colorbox, and this is black. And then what I'm going to do with the front then is first I'm going to use my little pouch. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to use a little bottle. I've seen a lot of people use these, and I didn't think they were worth the money, but I'm doing a video on embossing powders and embossing techniques, so I thought, well, I'll buy one of these because it was only, I think, $3.50, and I'll see if it makes any difference from what I've used in the past. And I'm also going to do something with baby powder. I'm going to try every technique there is for how to get the static off of your embossing powder. So I'm going to run this all over my background because I want to make sure that I only get this. Oh, it smells good. Kind of smells like baby powder. Holy crap, I think it's baby powder in here. Now you know the secret. It's just baby powder. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. I think it's baby powder. That's funny. Alright, I've got it all over. Don't let anybody tell you that that's some kind of voodoo mixture, because clearly it smells just like baby powder to me. Anyway, I've got my Versamark ink, and I'm going to do these stars all over my design. I'm going to start off the corner. Now you're not going to be able to see these at first because they're going to be in this clear Versamark ink. So then we're going to cover our Versamark because you don't want to have any messes left behind. You need a scrap paper for underneath what you're doing, and my scrap paper probably isn't big enough, but we're still going to go with it. I bought this gold embossing powder at a garage sale. I'm going to shake it really good because if it's really old or if it hasn't been used in a while, it can get weird. So I'm going to give it a shot. It's made by Personal Stamp Exchange, so hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, you'll be the first to know, right? You want to pour a lot over your design. This is really chunky. I've never seen embossing powder this thick that wasn't, called ultra thick embossing powder. Okay. When you emboss, you want to make sure your embossing gun is really hot. Don't use a hairdryer, it won't work. The only thing that I know of that will work for sure is these guns. Or somebody said you could use a toaster oven, but I don't think I would trust that idea. So I went over my stars another time with a different gold embossing powder. I think the other embossing powder was old, but that's the way it looks right now. Believe me, it's going to look better before we're done. I'm going to take the star and I'm just going to press it into my Versamark pad. I want the whole thing to be covered with the gold embossing powder. So the best way to do it is to just smush it in there, and it's loads of fun. And glycerin is really good for your nails, so basically I'm giving myself a mini little manicure while I'm doing this. Do you believe that? Probably not. Making sure I can see the edges are all coated, hopefully. Feels like it, except for right in there. A couple more smushes. This is 110-pound Recollections cardstock. I wouldn't try this on a lightweight cardstock because I think you'll end up making, you'll either break it or you just won't like your results, because you need to make sure that it's heavier cardstock. Just a FYI for you. I want to make sure we coat all my layer or edges really well. I wanted to try and avoid dumping everything into, or trying to get everything back in this thing again, because let me tell you, I'm not good at getting things into little pots like that. Who comes up with ideas like making a pot that small for embossing powder? Holy cow, how do they expect you to get it back in there? Just saying. Okay, that edge is nice and covered. Alright, I'm going to go back in the pot. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to heat up my gun and see how much of a mystery this is going to be to actually get embossed. Okay, so there's our star. Next step is I'm taking my koi watercolors, and I swatched it out here in the top. This 15 is as close to navy blue as I could get, so I have some here on my palette, and I'm going to do that. Luckily, it did it for me, right? I'm going to put a little water on my background first before I splatter more water all over the place, or more paint. I just want to make sure that the front of my card is going to be navy blue, obviously, and so I'm just going to wet it down. And I think I said this is Recollections. It's 110-pound water, or it's not watercolor paper. So I'm just flying by the seat of my pants with this blue. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my touch marker number 69. It's funny, I flipped it upside down. It's the same upside down or right side up. Doesn't matter, Sandy. Oh, these are the things. I thought I would just color in the word grad with my navy blue marker. Okay, that's that part. Now, I did my star for the front that we're going to put in there. I also put that on in the molten gold, and I'm going to get a piece of plastic, and we'll play with that so that we can make our shaker. And I think in the end what I'm going to do is add another layer to the back so that there is, I'm going to glue this shut and add another piece to the back so that in the end it becomes a card, because once I glue this down you're not going to be able to play with it. So that's my thinking. I'm going to I might flick some blue in there. You don't think so? I have a dog back here going, I don't like that idea. Now I'm going to get my piece of shaker that I want to go with. I like to wipe mine off with a little cleanser before I put it down, because you don't have a second chance at this. So if you're using some plastic that you've had, like this is from a back of a stamp set, I'm just taking the plastic cleanser that I have for my Misty and using it on here, and that way I'll know that in the end it's going to be cleaner than it was, because it was kind of fingerprinty and not too pretty. So see if I can make it look better. So I have our tear tape all around the edges of where we're going to have our plastic, and then I'm just going to lay our piece of plastic over those, making sure that we don't have it go over the bottom or top edge. And then we're going to really push it down to make sure that it's adhered well, like that. And then the next step is to get our gold piece, and we need to adhere it into that spot. And the way we're going to do that is, I should have put some more glue in there. These are the things that just happened to me. Not really a big deal, but I'm going to put a little bit of tape underneath here, if I can. Okay, our next step is going to be where we're going to be putting some tear tape all along the back of our star. So what I did was I put a bunch of tear tape all over the back of my star, and I'm going to lay it in here nice and gently, trying to make sure that I get all of the pieces in where they want to be, but not have any of my tear tape show. That's that. So then you're going to put your foam pieces connecting to each other. You don't want to have any of your foam pieces you don't want your foam pieces to have any gaps. Alright, so this is where I keep my sequins and my, the things that I think you'd want to have in a shaker card. And I'm not going to put, I'm going to do a couple the blues and a couple of the golds. I'm not going to do a ton in here. You're going to want to go around the edge very gently with your powdery stuff so that your outside edge doesn't cling to these. It's kind of important, because otherwise you might end up with a shaker card with everything adhered to your sides. So that's what we're going to do. And you're going to gently lay the back down on the front, like that, making sure it's well adhered. Now, because I just sealed this shut, oh, it's really cute. I'm digging it. Because I just adhered this shut, the first thing you want to do is trim off any edges you can see. And all you do is you take another base of, and this can be lightweight. It can, it doesn't have to be a really thick base. But the point of this piece is to make it so that you can have something to write on, basically. And so all we're going to do is we're going to put some tear tape on the back, making sure our edges are glued down well. I'm just going to do 3 rows. You want to make sure that your top and your bottom match up. It's probably easier to do it like this. And then if you have to cut off some edges, and you might, then you just like that. So now we have, that's cute. I'm liking it. Hope you are. So all we have to do now is stamp our sentiment on the inside of the card. I think I'm going to go with this one. I don't even really know what it says because it's upside down. Oh, it's about the future belonging to those who have celebrate their dreams. That's a good one. Same stamp set as before. This time I'm gonna just put that Versamark pad on there. I have enough ink on me to, well, it's a little crooked, but who cares? The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. There is our card. Now our envelope I have already done. When I was doing all of my embossing, I went ahead and did the embossing. I'm going to make my diploma blue as well. Going for the whole theme of the college. He'll probably go, hey, that's not my high school colors. I decided in the end that I would use my marker and color the background. It wasn't a dark enough blue, I didn't think, and I didn't know if I could get that dark of a blue with my watercolors. So I just took my marker and colored the front, and I do think it makes it look, much more navy blue and gold, which were the colors I was going for. I really hope that you enjoyed this and that you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell one friend about me on social media because I really love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.